Are the Vancouver Canucks the standard for toxic teams in the NHL?
Changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. Front back the ball coming to Crosby. He scores! Crosby 500. Watch this play between the legs. Comes right back to him.
But man, oh man, has his kid got some hands.
The net, it looks like he's going for the old Michigan. He brings it up. Miller goes to knock it off. He shoots it in front.
Oh, what a pass!
Away, gains the zone around Kubalik. Back to Foligno. He scores! With a lot of mustard on it.
Ovechkin scores! The Grade 8 Express pulls into third place all time.
This is the Pucked Up Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Pucked Up Podcast. I am Chris, and joined with me, as always, are the two lovely ladies, Danger and Dee. So, it is you. Indeed, you know.
We are dainty and ladylike.
Someone has to...
Not really, we really flip and love hockey. So.
Yeah. Well, someone has to be good looking on the podcast, and we all know it's not me, so...
Otherwise, nobody would watch the video.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Someone's got to be the bait. Absolutely.
Right.
For real.
Might as well be us.
For real.
100%. It's been an exciting week, and it hasn't been an exciting week.
Yeah,
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's been a week for sure. We got some things to talk about. I think I
apologize in advance because I'm sick, so...
Oh, yeah. Did you take any medicine today for it?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm, like, flying high right now, and giggly as I'll get out, because...
What's so fucking funny, giggly bits?
Giggly bits.
Giggly bits.
So,
I love it.
Danger, I think we'll lead off with you. The All-Star jerseys were released.
Girl.
All-Star games. So we're going to talk about, I have like, it's threefold info for the All-Star game. Which many of you, I'm sure, know takes place the first weekend of February in Florida this year. First, let's talk a few like All-Star fun facts that I found. So prior to the first official NHL All-Star game in 1947, the concept of pitting the NHL's elite against each other was used in 3 games prior, staged to benefit the families of former NHL stars Ace Bailey from 1934, Howie Morenz in 1937, and Babe Siebert in 1939. Which is kind of interesting.
Great names.
Right? It was like Ace, Howie, and Babe. Love it.
Right.
The 2023 Honda NHL All-Star Weekend marks the second time that the Panthers and Southern Florida have been the center of the All-Star activities. The Panthers previously played host to the Mid-Season Showcase back in 2003, which was my senior year of high school, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
But that's
Gordie
none of my
Howe
business.
has played in the most career NHL All-Star games. Mr. Hockey, as many of us know him as, appeared in 23 total All-Star contests, registering 10 goals and 19 points.
Jesus.
Absolutely absurd.
Good for fucking Gordie.
Dude, Gordie
Right?
is a legend.
Yeah, I mean, for a
Really
reason.
is.
He is Mr.
Like-
Hockey for a reason.
Right. Well deserved.
One of the top 5
it-
greats of all time. No fucking
Right.
question.
100%. 100%. Even people
Absolutely.
that don't know hockey, like Gordie Howe is one of the names that people recognize about
Right.
hockey. And like, honestly, what I consider one of the founding fathers of hockey, right? Like he kind of made
Yeah.
Of
hockey
modern
part of
hockey,
what it is.
absolutely.
In 1947, the first official NHL All-Star game called for the defending Stanley Cup champions to play against a selection of All-Stars from the other 5 teams. So imagine that.
That's an interesting
There were
format, actually.
6 teams in the NHL back then.
Yeah.
Honestly,
since
I
then,
kind
the
of love
format-
that.
So,
Right.
Major League Soccer does something very similar to that. Their All-Star game is not a collection of, like, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, it's a collection of the entire league, and then they play a team from Europe. Usually, it's a Premier League team. I think last year they played Chelsea, and it's a cool idea.
Interestingly enough, it's since then the format had changed to pit first team All-Stars versus second team All-Stars, East Division versus West Division, Campbell Conference versus Wales Conference, which is interesting.
Yeah.
The original
Eastern
names.
versus Western Conference, North America versus the world.
Yep.
A player fantasy draft where all-star players themselves determine the composition of each team.
I remember that.
And then most recently was the 3-game 3-on-3 tournament between the divisions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can speak. Florida Panthers forward. That's a hard sentence to say. Florida Panthers forward. Olli Joinkinen thrilled the hometown crowd in the 2003 NHL game in Sunrise, tallying a goal of 3 assists for the Eastern Conference in a 6-5 shootout loss to the Western Conference.
Oof.
And lastly, Wayne Gretzky, shockingly enough, is the all-time leader in career All-Star game points with 25. And it says he was 13, 12, and 25 in 18 GP.
What a fucking monster.
Right? Fucking.
Crazy.
I mean, he is the great one for a very good reason.
Yeah.
And then before we talk our opinions on the jerseys and everything, we're going to solidify, because I haven't even fully read out each roster for each division.
Right.
So first of all,
We do have the fan selections.
Yeah.
We
that
do
are-
have
those
all
have
the
been
fan
tallied.
selections. Yeah, they are officially set in stone now. So for the Metropolitan Division, we have Sidney Crosby, Johnny Boudreau, Kevin Hayes, Jacques Hughes, Brock Nelson, Alex Ovechkin. I was going to say something funny and then I lost it. Artemi Panarin.
Artemi Panarin.
Panarin, yeah.
Panarin. Okay.
Panarin's a fucking beast.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I do love him.
I know I've heard the name, but we play the Rangers once in a blue moon, so it's not like I fully recognize him.
He's like the bane of
Andre-
my existence on the Rangers.
That's fair. That's fair, because you guys played them a lot.
Yeah.
Andrei Svechnikov.
Svechnikov.
Yeah, that one. Again, cold medicine, y'all. So names are going to be even
All good.
tougher this week for me than normal. But this one is real nice and easy. Adam Fox, Igor Shesterkin.
Shesterkin. There you go. We got you. We got your back tonight.
Ilya
got there. You got
Sorkin.
there.
It's all about I don't know if I'm the only one in the
Too
world,
many
but, cold
goddamn,
medicine makes my tongue think,
Crazy European names.
right?
A lot.
So then for the Atlantic Division, we have Nikita Kucherov. And I know that's not right, but again, bear with me. That's how my brain processes things today. Dylan Larkin, Mitch Marner, Ashton Matthews, David Pasternak, Nick Suzuki, Tage Thompson, Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk. Which
Love that for them.
really? I don't. Just kidding.
Uh,
I love the
that's funny.
Tkachuk brothers, but I hate the Tkachuk. Love them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
facing
Great.
them is tough.
Yeah, I'm indifferent about them.
Yeah. I mean, they both have a lot of skill, but
They're also both a little dirty like their father.
You're
funny,
not
my
wrong.
grandma legitimately says the exact same thing, because when we were just facing Florida.
Keith Tkachuk is kind of a dirty fucking player.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And my grandma was like, I hate that Matthew Tkachuk. He's dirty, just like his father.
I just love
legitimately,
brothers
my grandmother
playing
said
brothers.
those exact
Mhm.
words too. It's so funny.
I love
Um,
brothers playing together. I love brothers
I
playing
do
against
too.
each other.
I'm here for the chaos.
I
of
don't like
brothers.
them. I just like watching
Oh.
siblings physically
Beat
annihilate
the
one
shit out of
another.
each other.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have Andrei Vasilink. I can't even.
Vasilevsky.
Thank you. And Linus Allmark.
Nice.
For the Central Division, my boy, my one and only. That's a
My
lie.
boy.
It's like my child. Anyway, Kirill Kaprizov.
Glad he's going to
Um,
be able to actually meet his boy Ovechkin this
I
year
know.
after that
As long as
tribute
Ovi
last year.
actually goes this year and doesn't do his whole I don't feel like playing. I'll take the penalty.
Which is the
This year
most
he has said
Ovechkin
he was going to
thing.
go.
Okay.
He was supposed to go last year, but he got COVID, or he was put on
Yeah.
That's
COVID.
Or he was on the
watch.
protocol. But yeah, Dee and I were talking about this earlier about how Kirill, like, for the skills competition, tailored his whole presentation to Ovi because Ovi is like one of his heroes, which makes me feel
Yeah,
very old because Ovi is my age and Kirill is
it's
not.
not.
But
Very much not.
But yeah, he like just was doing a whole nod to Ovi, and then Ovi wasn't there last year, so that kind of broke my heart because
Yeah.
like, oh my dear sweet little boy wanted to meet his hero, and then he didn't. But we have Kirill Kaprizov, Clayton Keller, Nathan McKinnon. You know the person I'm talking about. I'm not gonna push it. Mikko Rantanen, Jason Robertson. Which fuck you, Jason Robertson. I'm so mad at Dallas lately. It's nothing personal. Actually, it is. It's fine. Vladimir Tarasenko, Seth Jones, Cale Marker, John Morrissey, Connor Hellebuck, and
UC Saros.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I've heard of Sorrows, but I've never seen. I've heard like his first and last name. I never saw it spelled out before, so UC threw me off.
UC.
Man.
Yeah, his name is not pronounced how it's spelled.
No. And my brain,
Like at fucking all, it's not even close.
yeah, it's just so. And then for finally the Pacific Division, we have Matty Beniers, Leon Draisaitl, Kevin Fiala, Bo Horvat, Nazem Kadri, Connor McDavid, Elias Pettersson, Troy Terry, Eric Carlson, Stuart Skinner, and Logan Thompson. So, I mean,
nice.
honestly, it's going to be a great all-star matchup, you guys.
I'm
Like,
excited.
actually
I'm
shocked
so
that
excited.
Kadri's the only Calgary player. I would have
Yeah.
expected Huberdeau as well, or Markstrom.
I mean, it's the
Markstrom, I
fan
would've
vote,
seen,
and
yeah.
so it's whoever the fans said that's who I want the most. Which is what I love
Which is
about this year is that they
awesome, yeah.
did two forms of the fan vote, like we talked
Yeah.
about in our podcast a couple of weeks ago, where you had a fan vote through Twitter, where you could just say the player's name and some sort of hashtag that I already forgot,
Yeah.
and then also like the ranked voting system through their website. So I love that. I love that they're trying to get fans involved. I think it helps. I think that's also, I don't know if they had removed what's his name, the goalie that we discussed last week,
Matt
prior
Matt
to, I think when I voted originally
Matt Murray was
that
there.
first week, Matt Murray was
Yeah.
still there.
He was.
And I think that's
He
why
was
you're
up
not
for
going to see
fan
him.
vote, I think. Not like he wasn't already given a spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Which
because
is,
was
but
up
that's
for
why
fan
you
vote.
weren't going to see him get one, is because the fans decided. You
there's
know what
only
I mean?
two
Because
players
fans are pissed.
on Toronto that were fucking shoo-ins, and the fact that Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, those are the only two players on Toronto this season that I think should even be there
Yeah.
in the All-Star game, personally. Because
I mean,
Austin
can't
Matthews is a
disagree.
fucking shoo-in. Anytime. It's Austin Matthews.
Right.
The guy's a fucking machine.
Right.
Agreed.
I don't know, I'm here for all this.
I'm super excited. The jerseys this year look real good.
Yes. I know, Chris, you have the visual up so we can
You
Indeed.
make
do.
sure our audience
So-
knows
and
what we're
I'm
talking
sure-
about.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So these are the jerseys for the NHL All-Star Game. They are a throwback to the 94, 96, and 97 All-Star Game jerseys, which I think were the best All-Star jerseys they've ever done. I fuck with these so hard.
Yeah.
Like,
I
like
really
it.
do too, which is crazy to me, the amount of discourse I've seen online about thinking that this is awful. I don't know if it's the
I don't-
colors, I think is what really
it-
grabs people in the wrong way.
yeah.
But you know what I love about it is it mirrors their reverse retro jerseys.
Yeah.
from
Right.
This year.
Which
It's the same color
yeah.
scheme.
That's a
I
lot
really
of 'em,
love
yeah.
that because it's a nod for it being in Florida, and I don't know if that was a purposeful
Yeah.
thing or not, but
Well, not only a nod to Florida in general, it's a nod to the Florida Panthers are in the Miami area. So this is a heavy
Right.
nod to the South Beach
Very
like
Miami.
color. This is super Miami.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
think just the way they did it was perfect.
But it's
It
also very
happens to be LTN Media
1990s.
colors.
Yeah, it's
What?
pretty
I
much
know.
LTN Media
What?
colors.
It's so crazy. They
I was
totally
saying
stole our
earlier,
palette.
the thing that's toughest for me about these is that I don't know which one I want more. Because
Right.
I'm obviously in the Eastern Conference. I
See, and I'm in
love
the
the black
Western.
top. I think that's so great. But I fucking adore the blue bottom.
Right.
So for me, I'm like,
kind of
oh, if
wish you
only we
could
could
get
have
the
a
black
mashup
top
of the
and the blue bottom.
two.
Yeah.
I know.
The
Yeah.
black top with the blue bottom would look sick as fuck.
But they complement each other so
They
well.
do.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna look so killer out there on the ice, I think. And
Yeah.
I love them. I wish I could buy both. I don't even know if I'll be able to get one because if it's anything like the fucking reverse retros,
They'll probably be sold out so
oh
fast.
my god, those things went so fast. Like I blinked and it was gone.
I
All of
wonder
them
if
were
I could
gone.
still get Anaheim's. I don't know if they sold out.
I don't
Ours
know. I mean,
didn't. I know ours didn't this year. Or let me
Yeah.
rephrase. I at least know that I can still find them. I guess I don't know if it was resales or not. But from way back when Dwayne Rollison was one of the goalies for the Western Conference, I have a Western Conference jersey
That's cool.
downstairs.
nice.
That's just the solid green, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. So that's my one little all-star claim to fame. But I used to love the Wild actually when they first became a franchise here in Minnesota after we had no hockey for like 7 years. They used to do skills competitions and invited the season ticket holders, like in friends and family specifically.
Yeah.
So we used to go to those all the time. And I think I mentioned like when I met Mikko Koivu when he first joined the team and he's like, my cheeks hurt from smiling, and it was adorable. But like I miss that. Like I love skills competitions. I think they're so fun and it's a chance for the guys just to get out and play some hockey and like just have fun and like shit talk each other and whatever.
Yeah.
With no pressure per se. Or only the amount of pressure of like being able to fucking brag for the next year and then they're over it,
Right.
But I'm super excited to see this year's setup. Looking at the schedule, it looks like they have a lot of fun stuff planned and
They added
televised events.
They added 3 new events.
Yeah.
I just had it. It's super professional.
Yeah, Chris, way to be a fucking professional.
Fucked up.
Which is just funny because we're not professionals on any of our other shows either. Why start here?
Right. So they are adding splash shot, pitch and puck, and tendy tandem to the festivities, to the skills comp.
Okay, I want to know what tendy tandem is. That sounds like fun.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious. The Discover tendy tandem. 8 goalies will work in tandem, one shooting and the other shooting into the other's net. The shooting goalie from the division will take a shot from a designated mark. Will be awarded 3 points if the shot goes into the hole, 2 if it hit in the in-net target, 0 if it misses the net.
Ooh,
the in-net goalie will
that sounds
face
like fun.
1. Oh, all right, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Oh, dude, I'm so down.
What's the splash shot? How's that different from the skill showcase?
The
where they're also
splash?
shooting?
The splash shot will be it'll be on the beach. 8 players divided into 4 teams of 2.
Okay.
Players are required to hit all the targets before attempting to dunk their opponents. The winner will
like
be the
fun.
one to dunk. Oh, dude, I'm fucking here for it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I watched it last year. I'm definitely gonna have to watch it again this year.
Oh, it was
for
fun
sure.
last year. When they were hitting when they were playing, was it blackjack or poker? I think they were playing blackjack. They were playing blackjack with pucks. You had to shoot.
Last year was a lot of fun.
You had to shoot and hit the card.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I think Matthews.
Yeah,
won
I
it.
think I remember watching the a few years back with Ryan O'Reilly, and they had him up on the platform, and he was shooting into the different like holes they had out on the ice. It was like cornhole almost. But yeah,
dude,
it
these
was
lines are fucking crazy. For the All-Star game, the first line for the Metro Division is Crosby, Ovechkin, Boudreau.
Have they already released that? That's surprising to me.
Yep, that's out already.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all.
So they are going to stick with the 3-on-3 concept still, which, I mean, I
I
like
wish
it.
they would expand from that. I don't like 3-on-3. I would prefer 4-on-4. Or even because we have enough talent in the NHL, why not just do regular
East versus
games?
West.
Well, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we could easily do 5-on-5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you'd have a problem getting people to show up.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I do wish that they would go to full-size teams. I think 3-on-3 is great.
Yeah, I didn't like the
but
3-on-3
it's not as
last year.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do like 3-on-3 hockey. I think it's fun, but yeah, I'm here for the traditional All-Star game.
I love the idea, and I know that we have too many teams now to do it, but the idea of like that, first couple All-Star games where it was the Stanley Cup champions turned around and had to play the 5 best players.
I actually like that too.
Yeah.
Or like playing
or the
the
best
teams that
players
didn't
from 5 different
finish.
teams. Yeah,
Like the players, the next 5 in order of like
what if
knocked
each
out.
team got to pick one person to send, and then that made up your team, and you had to make lines out of whoever was there from those 15.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say, yeah.
Honestly, if they're looking to revamp, they can go back to that, and I think
that
fans
would
would be
be
like, "Oh,
sick.
that might be kind of fun."
Yeah.
Yeah, and something just different,
Yeah.
And have like a special uniform design for that, for the defending Stanley Cup champions, for that game specifically.
Well, yeah, do something with your logo and the cup in it and the year maybe or something, and then the big L on the other jerseys or something like that. I don't know, but
because you guys are losers,
baby.
Loser. Absolutely. No, I think that can be really fun though.
Yeah,
but I'm
I
excited
think
for
there's
this
a lot
year.
Of potential. I am too. I think the people that are going are relatively all people that are gonna go out there and just have fun. And that's what I love to see. Like, I love to see these athletes go out and just love what they're doing for a living,
I love that the Metro
we all
Division.
know that there are days where they don't,
Right. I love that the Metro Division goalies are both New York teams.
Yeah.
Sorokin and Shesterkin. I love that.
Right.
Okay.
Also, could they pick a different letter of the alphabet? Jeez.
Right.
They're both IS.
Yeah.
100%.
Jeez.
They're going to get confused for sure because we're like, Sorokin. God damn. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sorokin.
Yeah. The S.
No, it's Shesterkin.
That goalie.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited for the All-Star game. I think it'll be fun to watch. I think, it'll be exciting without too much pressure. I'm here for
the NHL All-Star game is legitimately the only team sport All-Star game I watch.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the only one I watch.
Same.
The Pro Bowl sucks. The
I don't watch
NBA
the Pro
All-Star
Bowl.
game's super boring. I watched some of the MLB All-Star game. It's a little bit.
I will watch.
I mainly watch
the
Home Run Derby
and stuff.
Oh yeah, I love the Home Run Derby.
Much else than that.
Yeah. Also, one more note about these jerseys. Merrill of what's his freaking title? Matty Merrill, the Adidas hockey senior designer.
Yeah.
He did say that it feels like the ultimate curtain close on reverse retro. We did it on all these 32 teams and all these 32 markets, and now we get to do it on one closing flare where all the teams wear the same reverse retro at the same time.
Yeah.
So it does sound like, according to Adidas, this is the last year for reverse retro, at least as sponsored by Adidas.
Right. They said that they're not renewing their contract.
Right, yeah. So their contract runs out. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Next year, their contract runs out. I don't know what the NHL is going to do. But I'm curious to see how that handles.
Make a pitch to the Washington Capitals right now?
Sure.
Can we make the reverse retro from this year be our permanent third jersey next season?
Can it
because holy shit, it's beautiful.
Can it just? Can you guys just go back to that color scheme permanently?
Right.
Yeah.
Go back to the eagle and the that was the cool fucking uniforms.
It's tough because the whole Rock the Red, and we'll get into it later, but Bruce Boudreau was here for the start of the Rock the Red movement when we changed our colorway to that. And so it does hold a special place in our hearts for him. We'll talk about him. We'll get to him.
I think this is a perfect transition to talk about what happened. So, a few days ago, the Vancouver Canucks fired their coach Bruce Boudreau in his second year with the team. Usually D is usually the one that gets fired up, but I have some spicy opinions.
Yeah. Give us the spice,
I'm going to
Chris.
start off with the Vancouver Canucks should be fucking ashamed of themselves, and they are a disgrace to the NHL for the way they handled this.
100%.
For 2 months,
100%.
2 months, they were like, "Oh, we're probably going to fire him. We're not going to fire him. Well, we don't know yet." Making this man think about what his career was going to be. Like, he'd ever know if his last day as the coach was that day. The fans are behind him. This man won a fucking Jack Adams trophy in 2008. By the way, if you don't know what that is, that's the NHL's version of Coach of the Year. With the Washington, I'm pretty sure it was the Capitals in 2008. Yeah, the man won a Jack Adams in 15 seasons as a head coach. He's only missed the playoffs 5 times.
Right.
Crazy.
And I believe he's the only coach that has coached all 3 of our teams.
Correct. He's coached technically all 3 of our teams. But listen.
But go ahead.
That is not how you handle or conduct yourselves.
No.
As a professional sports team, the front office should be ashamed of themselves, and they should be.
I'm sorry.
They should be disgusted, because I'm disgusted. I'm not even a fucking Canucks fan. They're in my team's division, but I'm disgraced as a hockey fan. I'm disgusted because that's not how that should be handled.
I'm sorry, even if you're a high school division, that's not how that should be handled.
No, it shouldn't.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
should not be down to a point to where in a press conference, your head coach breaks down because somebody brings up the future and he has to like choke down tears because he knows that there might not be a future with that team. And this is a man who is the sweetest, most humble human being, and just a man who really fucking loves hockey.
Oh, he's a hockey lifer. He's a lifer.
And
he's
to
just
treat him like shit.
Yeah.
Yep. And like Jim Rutherford of the Canucks did make a comment, which didn't make anything better. He said, like, I'll do an abbreviated form of how it was handled. About a month ago, there were different meetings, but leading up to the decision about a month ago, Patrick, Bruce, and I, we met. We talked about where the team was at. We had some of our top players having really good seasons. The bottom half seems to have declined. This was a concern. And I'm like shortening some of this because a lot of it is just like a lot of filler words. We had a meeting and we talked about a bunch of things. I talked about our schedule and where we were at, that we'd really like to get through the year as a coach and then make the decision at that point. We'd like to see some progress. 2 weeks later, we had a follow-up meeting. And part of that, we walked through things again. There wasn't any improvement. So it got to the point where Patrick started to zero in on it and felt that at that point we had to make a change. And then he did say part of this process, and I will apologize to Bruce, is probably in my interviews over the course of the season when people ask me a question, I'm probably too direct and honest. And so that goes back to my comment about team playing with more structure and things like that. I've done that my whole career. I've tried to be honest. I've tried to answer the best I can. Sometimes that affects certain people. In this case, it probably did affect him. And I'm sorry I did that. I've learned from it. So I've decided to zip it. I'm not going to talk about the team. I'm going to let Patrick and Rick talk about the team and just stay away from these things. Unfortunately, it turned out the way it did. Nobody takes pride in it. I feel bad about it. If I've offended anybody in the process, I apologize.
You've offended your entire fucking fan base.
Yeah, like every tweet
and most of your players.
Yeah.
Players love Bruce. They love
and Bruce did give an interview recently as well saying that players were upset by it. He said in between periods it was like trying to get blood out of a stone. I mean, they wanted to go, but they just didn't have the energy because they had been bringing to games every night because this was hanging over them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes we'd meet in the morning and that was more the topic of the day than what we were actually doing that day. It was the topic of whether or not he was getting fired. So it 100% affected the team because you're a bitch ass management system that decided to run its mouth. And then after you fired the man, you put out a shitty ass "thank you, Bruce" tweet that got fucking ratioed.
Oh my god, it was
if
so
you have
bad.
time,
you need to go see
those. Livid.
Those are the spice. Ooh. Like
I mean, when every team that man had pretty much ever coached for, fans I'm in like 7 different wild groups on Facebook, right? Yes, I'm old, it's fine, whatever. But every group had a "thank you, Bruce," or "we love you, Bruce," or some sort of recognition post. And I'm sure it was like that across the board. I mean, and that's it, and in every NHL even group I follow or whatever it is, I saw things, and my heart just broke. Like, I couldn't even like open up the articles that first day because, of course, like we all knew it was coming. I mean, Bruce knew it was coming, and that was sometimes
yeah.
the worst part, was because you figured it was coming, but we didn't know when.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Fun fact. While he was the coach of the Washington Capitals in 5 seasons, they didn't miss the playoffs one time.
Nope.
Oh no!
When he coached Anaheim for 6 seasons, they only missed the playoffs once.
In one of his last games, because since you brought up the Caps, people started chanting Bruce, there it is.
Yeah.
Which is something that I just adore.
And they
But
did that in.
he didn't think anyone was
Vancouver
paying
too.
attention to him, so he's on camera and you can see him going like this.
Yeah.
And part of that is because whenever Alex Ovechkin plays him, he goes by the bench and gives Bruce that sign because they have like a serious love for each other.
Yeah.
And so Bruce was like, yeah, I did that in part because of Alex. I thought like, oh, I'll just like honor that. And he was like, I didn't realize that people saw it. And that just breaks my heart.
Which
that,
is
like,
seeing
he has
seeing him tear up on the
beautiful,
bench.
true
Like,
connection.
Right.
Yeah,
He-
with
Well,
players
and
and
to
seeing
be a
the whole
man that
thing.
doesn't understand his impact on the
Yeah.
sport of hockey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there is not a negative word that I think anyone has ever said that's
Bruce.
justified in
Right, yeah.
you
I mean,
know.
have I been upset with decisions he made
yeah.
when he was the Wild's coach?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Was I sad when he left Minnesota? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he is top 2 of my
And
favorite
again,
Wild coaches.
3 seasons
yeah.
coached in 4 seasons, well 3 full seasons. And coaching the Wild, they only missed the playoffs once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, to be fair, the Wild don't miss the playoffs very often. We just don't make it past
Right.
the first round.
Felt that.
yeah. That's
Felt that.
Like he
But,
brought
no,
Anaheim
like,
in
Bruce
14-15 to the fucking conference
so much
finals.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he deserves so much better, and I
He does.
hope and pray, like, either that he is taken on by another team,
Oh, he'll get another job for sure.
or if he retires officially, I hope that it's his decision and he is happy with the idea of retiring now.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I don't see him wanting to retire. I mean, he still owns teams in Minnesota. Like, he owns, like, not even, I mean, they're way down low, but,
right.
like, he owns teams that still play here.
Yep,
That
2
his,
junior
like,
ice
son,
hockey
I think,
teams.
still coaches.
The Minnesota Blue
Yeah,
Ox
2
and the Hershey Cubs of the
Yep.
United States Premier Hockey League. Yep, he owns
Yes, thank you.
those 2 teams.
I couldn't remember what the league's name was, but I knew it was something.
USPHL.
But yeah, we love them. We love the Boudreau family. And
Oh,
we love
there's
Bruce.
no person that comes to mind like right now that truly loves the sport more than this man. I mean, his
No.
playing career lasted from 75 to 92. Playing
Right.
between the
Here's what I'm gonna say.
like it's just fucking crazy.
In my lifetime, he is the closest to seeing Herb Brooks that I will ever see.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
And Herb Brooks is like Minnesota top tier coach, right? Like
Right.
Olympic Miracle on Ice team.
Yeah.
Oh, and his
Can't go
fucking
wrong with
accolades
Herb.
speak for themselves. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But like that, he is the closest that I will ever get to see. And like Herb Brooks didn't die until I was an adult, but I never got to see him coach. So seeing Bruce coach and seeing his passion and love for the game and the guys, whether they were his guys or not, you don't see that as often anymore. I love Dean Evanson. I love Dino. He has a grit that Bruce didn't have. But Bruce's passion is just something different, you know. If I could combine, honestly, y'all should like make that shit happen in a lab somewhere. Because if we could make a like hybrid coaching baby,
Right.
chef's kiss, fucking perfect.
And
One of the things that blows me away about this contract in general is they are going to be paying 3 coaches still this year because Pierre LeBrun is still on the docket for $2 million. Tocchet will be getting $2 million. Boudreau will be getting $2 million, and Travis Green is getting $2.75 million. meaning they have $7.5 million tied up in coaching alone. Not to mention, they're still paying
God.
Braden Holtby $1.9 million this season and Jacob Virtanen $500,000 this season. So they
Right.
have so much money tied up in these decisions where they're letting people go fucking willy-nilly. By the way, they've been paying Braden Holtby for a long time. Like, he left them years ago,
Yeah.
and they're still fucking paying him. And Bruce is the same way. They're going to continue to paying him. They're continuing to pay off these other coaches that they had before Bruce got here.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be paying like $2 million to start to talk it, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Also crazy to me that because there's a rumor going around that because of Rick being on what is it, TNT, his contract
Yeah.
with them, that they had to wait 4 weeks to announce it. So they just strung Bruce along for 4 weeks while they waited for his contract to run out.
Which is disgusting.
So like he gave his notice, waited 4 weeks, and then they announced that they were giving him the position fully, which is just, that's why it was drawn out the way it was. That's why there's so much speculation, and it's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Listen,
And then
over
on
it.
top of that, the
It's so
Canucks
over it.
called up Elliot Friedman, which he talked about in a recent podcast, and we're like, by the way, this is your fault.
yeah.
You and the media made this a bigger saga than it actually needed to be. And it's like, how are you going to tell a reporter it's his
Yeah,
fault
you don't get
for
to
you
blame
doing
the
something
media.
shitty?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get to blame the media for reporting on your actions and how the people responded to it. The
Yeah.
people were pissed.
And
That's not the
Pissed.
media's fault.
and like I don't want anyone to think we're bashing. Like I'm super excited for Rick
No.
Tocchet. He's a he's a good coach. He's obviously the past 6 years trying to do his or past 4 seasons in Arizona trying to do his best. The guy won back-to-back Stanley
Right.
Cups as an assistant coach with the Penguins in 16 and 17. Like, Rick Tocchet he's a good coach, and I think he's a good, maybe Vancouver's a good spot for him. But if we're being real, and I don't think many people are going to disagree with me on this, coaching's not the problem in Vancouver. You've got
No,
players
but I
that
will
don't even want
say-
to be there. Like, that's your
Yeah.
first problem.
That's your first fucking problem.
Your first problem is your players don't want to play there.
Also,
The problem is, though, is that Rick Tocchet actually has a lower, like, Rick Tocchet is even pretty much in his percentage of wins versus losses.
Yeah.
So it's not like they traded up
No.
because
Right.
Boudreau is ending it with a 0.554%,
Right.
which is also not stellar. Like, we can admit that, but also his players don't want to fucking be there.
Right.
Like,
right.
you
But the
can't
difference
coach.
is the difference is
corpses.
people want to play for fucking Bruce Boudreau.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I guess this leads us perfectly into our question of the week. Yeah, which again, it relates to the current topic we were just speaking on. Our question of the week is: how would you handle the firing of Bruce Boudreau if you were the Canucks front office? D, we'll start with you.
So for one, I would have treated him like a real life person that he is. And I know in the statement that I read that they said they had a conversation. They're like, well, we'd really love to see some advancements for you from the end of the year. Presumably, if I heard that, I would be thinking, okay, the end of the hockey year, not the end of the calendar year.
Right.
And even then, they
Right.
stuck around on him for another 3 weeks, which again just draws it out and makes it so uncomfortable and so painful. So first of all, I would have had a conversation with him. Second of all, I would have first taken a look inside and seen where's the failure here? Is it coaching? Is it personnel? Is it this? Is it that? Which, as we've kind of all alluded to, you don't have a roster problem in the sense that you don't have talent. You have fucking talent.
There's
The problem
plenty of
is that
talent.
nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be there for a multitude of reasons stemming from your organization. So you guys need to do a cultural shift.
Oh yeah.
You guys need to fix the culture within that arena, because I don't think your culture problem is from the fan base. It's from management. And maybe that wouldn't have led to you having to fire Bruce. But
Right.
either way, you owe him the courtesy of the conversation, and you deal with it appropriately. You also don't run your mouth to the fucking media saying, well, yeah, clearly we're not happy with him, and so we're looking elsewhere. you don't advertise your relationship with the coach you're going to bring in after him in such a way that sports journalists fucking find out about it. Like, you keep that shit mum until the
And
day that you
don't
have to
blame
officially
said
announce
sports
it.
journalists.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I don't blame the sports journalist at all.
No, I'm
But the
saying
problem
then
is
you
that
don't
Yeah.
because
oh,
they
then
are.
you don't. Yeah.
They're trying to
Right.
blame them for
100%.
getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm totally in
And
agreement there.
even so, during our little like half a second break, I was talking to my grandma and I was like, I'm fired up. Like the dogs are outside. I was like, I'm heated. Like we just got done talking about Bruce and like I'm hot, you know. She goes, well, what did they think about it? And I was like, well, we're all pissed, you know. And but she had said, she was like, at the very least, that's like not how you treat somebody. Period.
Right.
And it like goes back to like he wasn't here for very long, but he definitely made his impact.
Well, and like, you don't take a man's
I
dignity.
don't remember where my other train of thought was.
That's
What?
in a sense they took his dignity too, as well as
Yeah.
as
He
well as
really
his job.
did. It really did, and he is almost like, and maybe part of why I'm taking it so personally is I've been told occasionally that I'm nice to a fault.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that that can be said for Bruce too. I think
Right.
that he is a
Yeah.
nice guy. He is a humble guy, and like I said, somebody that just loves hockey. And
Yeah.
honestly, isn't that why we're all here?
Yeah.
Right? We just fucking love hockey.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And so for somebody to say, regardless of what you gave, all of
Right.
those hours, I mean, 15 plus years as a head coach in the NHL
Yeah.
is
Which is
incredible.
incredible. Yeah.
Incredible. You know, and like, I mean, I have understood every coaching change that the Minnesota Wild have made. And of course, like my heart, like, will always be true to Jacques Lemaire. He was our first coach for the Wild. Love Jacques Lemaire. I still, to this day, every time I'm physically at a Wild game, I will at some point in my best, and I can't do it now because I'm sick, but in my best French accent say, shoot the puck. Because he used to always say, we just got to go out there and we got to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
And so I love Jacques. And he is probably always forever my number one because I've, you know, been since the inception of the Minnesota Wild. I remember watching the naming ceremony on TV,
Yeah.
right? Like I remember them blowing up Met Stadium when they blew up the North Stars Arena.
Yeah.
I'm old, y'all, is what I'm saying. So, anybody else from Minnesota understands what I'm talking about if you remember that. Like my heart sunk a little bit, you know. I mean, it was devastating, and now it's an IKEA parking lot, and I wish that was a joke, and it's
That's
not.
awful.
Terrible.
But so many hours of my childhood were spent in what is now an IKEA fucking parking lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
those
Funnier
goddamn
because I worked at the
Swedes are
Mall of
still
America, I had
getting
to
their
park there
fucking.
occasionally.
They're still getting it.
Right.
Right.
Swedes are still making their mark there.
Right. But you know, if nothing else, especially, and again, I'm gonna brag about being from Minnesota, and yes, fuck it, hate me, whatever. But like being the state of hockey, and fuck you, Colorado, you don't get to take that from us. You're full of shit. Anyway,
Right.
being the state of hockey and whatever, and like it. And honestly, I mean, my grandma and I were just talking about we were talking about all the goalies currently playing in the NHL that are from
Yeah.
Minnesota, because there's a decent amount,
There's a good
or have
amount.
trained here. And so, like,
Right.
because being in the hub that sees so many people that end up in the NHL, whether they're players or coaches, like, we're very lucky in the center of hockey, let's say. Like, we're kind of in the
Yeah.
center of it, being
Yeah.
in the Midwest. Was my long story short of saying, fuck y'all, I'm from the state of hockey. But it's one of those where it's like, we just really can appreciate somebody that loves the game for the game.
Yeah.
And to see somebody treated like utter and complete dog shit
Literally.
and I mean, it's like a high school boyfriend stringing you along and then he dumps you before prom.
Yep.
Like, that's
Legit.
what this feels like to me. You know what I mean?
That's what it was.
That's really, in essence,
Yeah.
what it was.
And my heart just breaks for him.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I've seen him tear up, no matter what team he was with or leaving or going to, like, you feel his feelings because of that passion, you know,
100%.
and I definitely, I can't say that I wouldn't have let him go. I wouldn't have let him go this
The
early
way.
in the
Yeah.
season, being what he was told. I mean, it definitely was sounding like, we're going to give you this year. This year would be a season to me if I were a coach.
Right.
Like Dee was saying. But again, like, and to be fair, like I said, I can't say that I wouldn't have fired him or let him go or whatever
Right.
terminology you want to do. But to treat somebody that so many players, fans, coaches, execs, whatever, people that have blessed this sport,
Yeah.
to treat somebody that has that much respect across the board the way
Yeah.
that he was treated just breaks my heart.
I'm gonna
Agreed.
be honest. I wouldn't have fired him if I were the front office.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have fired him. You know what I would have
I mean,
done first?
No.
I would have fired
What?
the GM.
Yeah.
I would have fired the
Which
GM and I would have
didn't
looked deeper into the situation because,
Right.
like Dee said, you got players, mainly your team captain, who does
Right.
not want to be there.
want to be there.
Do you know what that
Has been
does
public
for
about it.
yeah? Do you know what that does for a player's ability? They don't want to play to their full potential.
Right.
No.
And when your
Well,
captain
They're not
is
giving
like,
110 in
captain being
practice.
open about that,
yeah,
what is that going to tell the rest of your locker room?
yeah,
Yeah.
Because if
And-
nothing else in the locker room, you should be loyal to your team no matter what you're feeling
Yeah.
on the inside. When you're in that
Yeah.
locker room on game day, it's all about the team.
right.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Horvat is intentionally playing poorly
No,
or that
no,
Horvat,
not
you
at
know,
all, not at all.
but he's made it
I'm
very
saying, like,
clear.
even if he didn't openly acknowledge it, other players can
Right.
feel that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to have a franchise, I mean, it's like we've talked about Arizona so much this season.
With Jacob
and
Chikrin.
all of the,
Another team
nobody
captain.
wants to play there.
No,
Yeah.
your
Mhm.
best player doesn't
Um,
want to be there.
Right.
Yeah. Legit.
and
Your best
so-
player.
It sucks
Just yeah,
as a franchise to have your best player say,
I'm over it.
as someone who's
Right.
played, I can tell you the first thing that isn't gonna make things better is changing your coach, because your
didn't
players.
they let somebody else go too from the Canucks?
I don't believe so. Not recently.
Okay, I thought I had read that,
I
but maybe
don't-
it was a
I
mixture
don't
of something else.
believe so.
I know I read it
They
while
let
I
the
was at
assistant
work.
coach
so it was a
go.
quick-
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The assistant coach
so
was
it
let go
the
at the
head
same
coach
time.
and the assistant. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, you look at your front office and look what you're doing wrong
Yeah.
there, because coaching. Oh yes, change of coach
Coaching can only go so far.
Exactly.
They don't get to make the decisions a GM makes.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have fired him.
Well, and how many coaches have they let go in the last, what was it, like 10 years? Like, haven't they fired
lot.
like 4 or
They've had a
5
lot of-
coaches?
They've had a lot of
Yeah,
coaches.
you
Like,
just read them all, Chris.
it's
I know,
quite a
but like, there's a
few.
lot,
Yeah.
and I was even surprised by that because, like, that's just a lot. I mean, that's almost a coach a year.
But
Average,
that
right?
should be telling to you that it's not a coaching problem. You have a culture problem within your
Right.
organization. For whatever reason, you are purchasing these contracts and they aren't being fulfilled by the players. And so why is that?
Well, and it's not being based in Vancouver. I mean, there are places in the
Right.
US that you can argue that their teams aren't doing well because it's not a market for hockey. Vancouver
Arizona
is
has that
not,
argument.
Right. Vancouver doesn't have that argument. They have
No.
a climate and a market for hockey.
I mean,
Um,
they haven't really gone through that many. Travis Green was there for like 5 years.
Okay.
He was there from 17 to 21, and before that, it was Willie Desjardins. He was there for 3 years, and then they had Tortorella for a year. And before that, it was Alain Vigneault, who was there for, 7 years. And he won a Jack Adams.
So it's what arguably the shorter ones have been 1-3.
It's been
Boring.
Tortorella and Boudreau have been the shortest in the last,
Yeah.
like, 15 years.
But even 3 years isn't that long for a head coach.
It really isn't. I mean, you can't completely change the culture of a team in 3 years.
No.
Unfortunately, I wish you could. I wish a new head coach could walk in and
Right.
fucking make everybody remember they play professional hockey for a living.
Yeah. 100%.
but they can't, and every player reacts differently to a different coach and coaching styles. And
100%.
that can be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
But I have not heard of one player to say anything negative about Bruce, other than he's
yeah.
too nice.
Well,
As
that
a,
would be
general
like
being.
Montreal firing Marty St. Louis without even giving him a real chance.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, sorry, dude. Forget what you did in the NHL. We're just gonna fuck you over.
Yeah.
It's just such bullshit, and it just breaks my heart. And honestly, I mean, Bruce is like my dad's age, right? I mean, maybe a little bit older, but
he's 68, I believe. 67
okay,
or 68.
so he's 7 years or 9 years older than my dad.
Yeah, he's to say he's either 70. He's like either 67 or 68.
68 or 70.
Yeah.
But still, he's just my dad, grandpa kind of age range. Because I have a weird family like that, but I just want to give him a hug and invite him to Thanksgiving, know? And he's just such a genuinely good guy and didn't deserve what he get. And I think all three of us would have very much handled it differently if we were GMs.
Yeah, no, I would have started with not firing him. Because that's not going to fix the problem there. There are other things that need to be addressed.
I would have looked at the other internal issues.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah.
Because I'm more curious in that time frame, how many GMs did they go through? Was it the same GM that entire time? Even though they had some coaches last more than 3 or 4 years, was it the same GM? Because if coaches can't make a turnaround with a GM that's the same, how much does that affect?
Tells you who's the problem.
Right.
I know Bill Guerin is very involved with the coaching staff and what happens on the ice versus some other GMs that have a very, look at Ziggy Wolf, who owns the Vikings, or at least used to. I guess I don't follow football enough to know if he still does, but he used to be very involved and now he's much more standoffish. But Bill Guerin with the Wild is very hands-on, so I guess I don't know what their GM relationship is either, because that could affect it too. If they're very hands-on and shit's not going good, then maybe it's the GM's fault, not the coach.
Right.
Right.
Agreed.
But the coach can also only do what's permitted by the GMs. And that's
there is a little bit of handcuffing there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that term. I've never heard it used like that.
Handcuffing? Yeah, and it does work.
It's kinky too. I like it.
It is.
Anyway.
It's a bit kinky.
One last thing. Cheers to Bruce Boudreau. I poured a fancy cocktail. I've already had 3 or 4 now. For a classy man. We appreciate all the efforts that you've given, not only to the NHL, but to the Anaheim Ducks, the Minnesota Wild, and the Washington Capitals, on top of the efforts that you put in Vancouver that were not appreciated. We see you. We love you. We hope to see you even more as your career extends through the NHL.
And it's
cheers
not
to you, Bruce.
Cheers. And it's not an if. It's when he finds another job. Someone will hire him again.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not lying. That
I
gave me chills.
Oh, love him. Much love for Bruce.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
absolutely.
All the love.
Bruce. And honestly, I love Dino. Fucking come back. Even if you're I don't really want to get rid of Darby either, but come back and I don't know, do something. Be the towel boy. I don't care.
Come back to Anaheim.
You deserve better than that, but just come back to
Honestly,
I'm not saying I don't like Dallas Eakins, but come back to Anaheim.
Right?
Honestly, we need a new power play coach. If you're willing, we'd love to have you.
I mean,
it's
honestly, I think so many teams in the league would just be yeah, dude, we'll fucking find a job for you. It might not be the face of the team, it might not be head coach right away, but we'll fucking make it work because he's just such a good dude.
And honestly, if you take over Talkett's spot on the TNT broadcast, I'll watch TNT
I'm here
more
for
often.
it.
I'm here
honestly,
for it. Your commentary is so valuable, having watched it during the pandemic on NBC Sports Washington when you were a commentator for them. It is so valuable. Take his job.
Honestly.
Yeah.
On TNT. Take
you
it.
imagine him, Biz, and fucking Gretz going back and forth? Come on. That'd be such a great... I'm here for it.
I love any former player. Mark Parrish is now on BS at Bally Sports North.
Yeah.
for the Wild, so he commentates every once in a while. Like anytime Darcy or not Darcy Kemper, Devin Dubnyk is
I was
also
like, he's not doing shit
commentating
right
too.
now.
No, like he's a fucking goalie still, Amber.
Yeah,
That's fine.
he's got a different
Dubes.
job.
Fucking shout out Dubes. I like
Fucking
Devin
out of
Dubnyk.
my-
is a goalie.
And 5 years down the road, I'm sure he'll be a coach or
Right.
commentator or something.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, it's like come do anything. Wes Walls commentates and like helps out our coaching staff and stuff. Like honestly, you can have your pick of the job
Oh yeah.
in the league,
Yeah.
I'm sure. But especially those of us in our generation, like we grew up watching you, admiring you, loving you, you know.
Absolutely loving you.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Bruce, I guess is
Oh, for sure.
the big side of it. Because like when he broke down, like I literally like couldn't finish the clip.
It was
of the
definitely hard to
interview with
watch.
him where he broke down.
It was hard.
I couldn't.
It was hard to
Yeah, it was
watch.
I couldn't do it.
That is, I mean, I think that's a.
I don't
good
feel
way
my
to-
feelings. I'm an adult. Okay.
Sorry, I mean, I think that's a perfect way to round this
Yeah.
topic.
I gotta switch headphones. Anyways.
fine. If you guys want to get your question of the week out to us, if you want to be a part of it, hit us up on social media, hit us up in the comment section, hit us up on Discord. We love hearing from you guys. If you have questions you want to, if you guys have questions you want to have answered, send them to us.
Please, we'd love to have more questions from you guys. We love it anytime we do get a question from you. So send it in. But I think
Otherwise,
maybe
we
we're
come up with
already
stuff that makes us heated. So
For real.
right.
or makes
We
the
prefer
other
for
ones
you
of us-
to give us stuff to get heated about. As
right, and not each other triggering our co-hosts.
Yeah. I think that means though that it's time for us to kick over to a happier segment, which is the NHL 3 stars of the week. We love this segment because usually we all have different opinions as to if we approve of the order or not. And so I'm curious to see if we have any hot takes on this order. So starting with the 3rd star, we have one of Chris's favorites. And I mean, everybody's favorite. It's not just Chris. Like,
Yeah,
everybody
it's
fucking
not
The
loves
kid
this
was
guy.
lip
It's
It's not just
syncing
Chris.
Taylor
Still.
Swift on the bench the other night. How do you
I
not
know,
love
I
him?
love it. I saw a clip of
Like,
him the other day talking to a goalie from the other team, and it's just so cute. He was just like, "Oh, hi."
He's
like
so
just
happy to be
adorable.
there.
So I started
is.
following like clips of him on Facebook. And one of my
Yeah.
favorite ones that I actually shared with my son was how he tapes his stick,
Yep.
which was very interesting because he tapes it different. But he's just so much like, yeah, sometimes I just don't know what's going on when I'm on the bench. Like, he just is so real about it. Sometimes he's like, oh yeah, like I got distracted in such and such a game and didn't know what was going on or whatever.
Yeah.
He's such a fucking goober.
Stop
It's so
it!
great.
Don't acknowledge that fact. You don't say that on the internet, okay?
He is such a
So
goober.
if you haven't figured out who
Meanwhile,
we're talking
earlier-
about yet, right? If you haven't figured out who we're talking about yet, we are talking about Trevor Zegras of the Anaheim Ducks, who is only 21 years old, and that stat always hurts me to read. His age is painful to me personally. I take it as an attack.
Like
He's only 21. He's a fucking baby child,
Yeah.
and we
no,
love
like,
him.
He
Like
legitimately
yes.
could be
He's
my
a baby
child.
child,
like
right? It's uncomfy, is what it is.
Uncomfy.
It's uncomfy. But so Zegras scored a total of 8 points, 4 goals, 4 assists in 4 games, which is honestly just incredible. That's a great
It is. Also,
that's a great
I hate
stat
you,
to have.
but I love you at the same time.
right.
Which is who
Yeah.
I feel about, or how I feel about a lot of different people. But fuck
Which,
you,
Yeah.
but also
As of
keep doing
time
what
of
you're doing. 'Cause
as
you're
of time of recording,
Right.
he does have an assist today.
awesome. Okay.
Okay, great. So that those stats have improved. I mean,
Yeah.
well, not improved. They were already fucking good. It's not like they could go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he does. He has an
But
assist. tonight.
unfortunately, he's doing all that work for a team whose record in that same time frame was 1-2-1. So they got 3 points out of it. You know, that's not nothing.
Anaheim about to
Yeah.
get another 2 points because they're up 4-1 right now.
Which is insane.
I mean, we
You
don't
gotta
want that,
stop
Chris. We
winning
want them to
games though,
lose.
Chris.
I
Stop
I
cheering for
honestly
their
like I'm
success.
okay with us beating fucking Arizona. Like
Okay. That's the only one this week.
they are
only
the
one you get,
redheaded
Chris.
stepchild of
No,
the NHL, so
actually,
I'm okay
pause
with us
that.
beating
Yeah.
Arizona.
I'm not okay with you guys
Right.
beating Arizona because so far the Wild this year are the only team out of the 3 of our teams to beat the Arizona. So
This
fuck
is-
No,
that.
we
I
kicked
want
their
you
ass.
to lose.
I think this is our
We
first
beat
time
the
playing them
Coyotes.
this year.
I thought you lost to them the first time.
We
you
lost
played
them the first time we played them,
Yeah.
but we kicked their ass
I didn't
on
pay
their home
attention to the
turf
second
at
time.
Mullet Arena.
Yeah, that. Oh yeah, just
Yeah.
recently.
I think we had a shutout against them.
Yeah,
if I
this
recall
is
I think
correctly.
you did too. Actually,
we have yet to play
I
them,
forget-
so this is our
that
first
didn't
time.
register in my brain when I
Oh,
said the
wow.
last comment that I literally was just talking about the mullets and stuff and how the
Yeah.
Caps were just there again.
Right.
But yeah.
So that is our third star. For our second star, we have Steven Stamkos of the Tampa Bay Lightning, which I know Danger is
the Lightning.
particularly salty with
Fuck the
today.
Lightning. Fuck the
Uh,
Lightning.
The Wild did lose to the Lightning a little bit earlier this evening. Unfortunately, it was quite a game.
It was a spicy game. Like I literally
Yeah.
I had to go out during a break and tell my grandma, who's watching it now for the first time. She's like, just an intermission for the first intermission. And I was like, do not delete this game because I had to stop watching it. It got so crazy and distracting. And I need to watch the whole thing start to finish, even though I know I'm going to be pissed when it ends. Because I know how it ends.
So funny.
But
Well, Steven
Lightning.
Stamkos became the 47th player in NHL history to reach the 500-goal milestone, which they just recently celebrated when they had their first home game since he had scored that milestone goal.
Right. Which is still impressive.
Yeah.
But fuck you.
He also shared the league lead with 5 goals in 4 games. So he had 5 goals and 1 assist over 4 games, which is also incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's
definitely.
32 years old, so we're not talking about like incredible numbers for a 32-year-old. That's still normal, but
he's still playing at the top of his game though. Like
he's still playing at the top of his game for sure.
Hey,
They went
Chris,
2-2
people in their
on
30s
those
still
scores.
got it. Okay.
but in
I mean, I
hockey,
don't.
in sports terms, 32 is
In
Who
hockey
fucking
terms
cares?
specifically.
Yeah, in hockey terms
I was
specifically.
just telling a client this week about how much sometimes Chris makes me feel awkward because he's the youngest of the 3 of us.
Yeah, but only by a
And he
year.
very frequently will talk about how old hockey players are. But
And
the
they're all
problem
younger
is
than
they're
you.
all my age, okay?
Yeah,
So I'm
no.
not okay with
Yeah.
it.
It's the old saying, hockey's a young man's game. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck
So-
that shit.
His 5 goals and 1 assist helped them to get 2 wins and 2 losses over the course of those 4 games. Also, of note, his 500th goal was actually on his 11th career hat trick.
Which is awesome.
When
Which is
they
awesome.
beat the Canucks 5-2 on the 18th.
So also
Which-
shame on
sad.
you for like
Shame on you for being so mean to
Contributing-
Bruce Boudreau the day he was getting
right, you
fired.
contributed
us.
to the greatest
Right.
coach currently in getting
Crying.
fired. Okay?
Yeah.
Crimes against humanity.
For that reason alone, you and Zegras
I
should
mean,
be
it's
switched.
very
No, I'm kidding.
serendipitous that you got it on whatever. Like, that's cool. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Whatever. You who balloons confetti.
He's up to 501
How dare
now,
you.
I believe, correct? He
He
scored
is.
tonight.
He did score tonight. Correct.
Okay.
501. which is
So
still...
he's still killing it though this season. He's
Yeah.
23 goals, 31 assists in 45 games this season. So he's 16th in the league, which is crazy that that's the kind of number that nets you 16th. But it just goes to show you the talent that's in the NHL right now.
Well, would you look
Right.
at Connor
Um,
McDavid right now?
Well, yeah, I
Right.
mean and we've talked about this
Holy
before,
shit.
but like the talent that right now
Yeah.
this year is just absurd. Everybody I feel like is playing top tier, and I don't
yeah.
know if it's like this pent up energy or whatever, like
Yeah,
from having shortened seasons for 2 years, and
it
now they're like,
is.
fuck it, like that
Right.
primal fucking feral.
The
hockey
leashes
player
are
in them.
off. All
Right?
of our fans
Yeah.
are back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
definitely had an impact on the season overall.
I would think it has to play some sort of a part, right?
Yeah.
Because this year so far has just already been insane.
And McDavid just goes,
Absolutely
"Yeah,
insane.
fuck you
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna try to set like league records this year.
Yeah, the
Right.
record.
Be one of like 6 people to ever have 150 goals or 150 point season.
Yeah,
Right.
which
It's
is
like-
crazy.
It's like happened 11 times in the league, and I think only 4 or 5 people have actually done it. Most of them are Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky.
Right, yeah,
Which is
yeah. When
wild.
most of the
Which-
records are made by 2 people and you're
2
trying to
people.
bust through that, it says something about who you are as a human. But
He's almost at 90.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
which
This
is
is gonna make
The
a
funny
very
thing is,
dirty
though, like we're
comparison
talking
for me.
about Connor McDavid, he is not the Edmonton Oiler that took the first spot.
no, he is not.
He's not.
It is actually a name we haven't heard yet this season, which is kind of exciting.
I think we've
Zach Hyman.
we've
We
talked
haven't
briefly
really,
about
like-
Hyman this
Oh
year.
wait, I mean
We
we
might
did
have,
talk
like,
about
mentioned his
Hyman in
name
the
in
injury
passing.
list.
Oh, that's true.
He was
Yeah,
in the injury list
like,
because
we
remember
talked
we
about
went,
him
I hope you
in
don't have
passing.
any sisters.
Yeah.
That was our joke with him.
But like we haven't talked about him as a player and like all
Right,
that he's
yeah.
contributed and all that. So this
Yeah,
is the first time we're
no.
really getting. This is the first time we've seen him on the All-Star or the 3 stars of the week list.
Yeah.
He took the
Right.
first star for going 4 goals, 5 assists in 3 games.
Which is
So by far the best record.
insane.
He has a
Insane.
+8 rating for those 3 games as well. So not only is he contributing points wise, but he's contributing with hits and all those
Right.
other great statistics that lead
Yeah.
into those plus ratings.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got
So
56
they-
points on the season. He's got a plus minus of
He
14.
does.
Like he's very productive this year.
Absolutely. Which he helped his team get a perfect week. They have won all of their games and overall extended their winning streak to 6 games, dating back to January the 11th. So, like, he's really been up there. He capped the week with his second career 4-point game with 1 goal and 3 assists. Again, that was also over the Vancouver Canucks, but that was after they had let go of Boudreau, I believe. Or maybe not. I can't remember. Maybe I don't know what
One
today
of the
is.
two.
Either way.
I think at that point the decision was already made. It just
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah, I think that
official
point,
and
by that
out.
point we had already known.
Because I think
Um,
that the decision was made months ago.
Yeah. He does have points in 5 straight games, 4 goals and 8 assists over 5 games. So he's fucking killing it.
Yeah.
He's doing really well. Excuse me.
Nice puberty.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about hymens and I just thought like, oh, I should go back to when I didn't have one.
You just grew one back again.
Yeah, I just grew it back temporarily. Don't worry, I'll get rid of it later.
And
It's
then
fine.
you lost it immediately.
Yeah, instantly.
You
And that's how that
coughed and
works.
it was gone.
Yeah. So he actually ranks 14th in the NHL with 24 goals at the time this was posted. 24 goals, 32 assists, which surpassed his career high of in total of points for 27 goals and 27 assists for a total of 54 points. And his overall 76 appearances last season, which was also his first season with the Oilers. So he is having a career year so
Yeah.
far. So I absolutely think he deserves number 1. I'm gonna say Zegras should have gone 2 and Stamkos should have gone for the 3rd star. That's my
not
disagreement with the
list.
order because I have one every fucking week. I've got opinions. Sue me.
We love.
Does anyone agree with me though? Because I, think
mean,
at least
I
one
don't-
person on this
I
call
don't
should.
think it matters. Personally, the
I
orders.
do.
I think it's fine. I think I like the idea of Stamkos being second
It does
because
matter who
of,
finishes first.
Uh,
Contrary to prior belief, it
yeah,
does
but you
matter
don't win
who
anything
finishes
special
first.
for getting on the 3 stars of the week. But like,
So I guess the thing is that I've complained about Ovi getting 1st star and even 2nd star just for like having an NHL record-breaking week, and I think that at most it only guarantees him a 3rd star. So I have to hold that same energy for
I mean,
Stamkos.
that's fair.
No, that's fair.
I think it's because
That's
he had
totally
5
fair.
goals in 4 games. I think that's part of it.
True, that is more impressive, but I also think 4 goals in 3 games is equally as impressive.
Yeah.
4 goals and 5 assists in 3 games is crazy. Those are insane numbers as well.
But listen, as a Ducks fan, I'm just happy that we're included. So
You're
I'm
right.
just happy to be here.
we are.
I mean, of course, it's
literally
fucking Zegras, though. Like, who else on your team would it be?
Troy Terry.
And that's not.
Draisaitl.
That's it.
I was gonna say that's 100% a rhetorical question because there are other people. But
Did
I mean,
you
it's
just say
always gonna be
Draisaitl?
Zegras.
Leon Draisaitl doesn't play for us.
I didn't say
Anymore.
Draisaitl.
Didn't he used
I
to?
said
No.
Terry.
I
No,
thought Draisaitl played for
Danger said it. No, he's played for Edmonton
Oh.
his whole career.
Who else played for you?
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
Lies. Fucking lies. You've had
Only 3 people have ever
4
played for
people.
Anaheim in the history of the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
4 people, 4 people ever.
Ever.
That's it.
Ever.
In our 30-something year
period.
career. Our 30-something
Every
year
period of
existence.
every year of
It's
ever.
just Trevor Zegras and Timo Solane. That's it.
Boom. Game over, sorry. Henrique just
That's
netted
Chris's
the.
favorite person.
No,
I thought you were
they're
talking to
trading
me
last
because I
summer
shouted out
that you
your
were really
favorite
upset about.
NHL player
No,
ever.
no.
Who?
They're
Solani?
vindication.
Timo
I was-
Solani. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
That's
do you
Chris's
know?
favorite NHL player. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Did I make that up?
Of all time, Teemu Solani 100% is my favorite of all time.
The next segment by talking about the Naughty Boys. Really, we only have like 2 since last week. Our first naughty boy, I think is actually gonna make me very. Oh no, it won't. Okay, this was before that. I was about to say it's gonna make me very heated because I thought this was the press conference after they played the Wild, but Paul Maurice, the head coach for the Florida Panthers, got fined $25,000 by the league for inappropriate comments made against officials during a post-game
Wow.
press conference.
That's crazy. That's a lot of money.
That is a
Is
lot of money.
insane, and I really want to watch
Yeah.
that press conference now.
I know. What did he
and
say?
For real.
right? 25 grand is a lot of money.
That's a lot
Yeah.
of money.
And
If I find
I
it
mean,
online, I'll post
that
it
is
in
the second time that a head coach this year has been fined $25,000. The
Yeah.
first one was Shelton Keefe from the Toronto Maple Leafs for demeaning conduct directed at the officials back in December. But I mean, trust me, we were talking about this not that long ago too, my grandma and I, about how there are a lot of new officials this year.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. So I understand a little bit about some of the frustration with officials and the officiating in hockey games. Because I disagree with a lot of it too. The other fine that we have was against Mike Matheson from the Montreal Canadiens. Interference against Eric Stahl on January 19th. And he got fined $5,000 for that. Otherwise, nobody else.
I was gonna say I
has
did
been
find
s-
Maurice's comment.
Did
He
you?
said
Okay.
during the after game presser, he said
Yeah.
there'll always be penalties that you take in a game here, but there's a whole lot you're not going to like at all. We had the inordinate share of those hard to describe calls. I don't know what the hell those two were doing tonight. It certainly wasn't Florida Panther friendly. He also then elaborated later to say, I just explained to them that it has nothing to do with my players. It has to do with the relationship I have with one of the referees. That's what it was all about.
Mm.
So implying that it was because him and the referee don't like each other that they got bad calls is what the league fined him $25,000 for.
Right, which is not okay, first of all.
No.
Second of all, fuck you, dude.
That's a lot
I
of money
watched-
though
I
for
watched
that.
what the refs did when the Wild played the Panthers last weekend. You got called. I mean, honestly, we had 5 power plays and the Panthers had like 10 or 12. It was insane, the amount of power play opportunities the Panthers had. And I get that they were different officials and I get it's a different game, but unfortunately, shit happens to every team. Not every official. One of my favorite cheer when I was a cheerleader was "I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref." But as an
Can't believe they
adult,
allowed
I
you
can
to say that.
recognize that is hard to catch everything. And they are human too, as much as I get mad at them and scream at the TV. That's super actually funny. Anyway, so that's all we have for fines and suspensions. Let me refresh my injury list because I know there's a lot of teams playing right now and I don't know how often CBC updates.
Yes.
So as always, starting with Anaheim right now, we only have one new or updated one. It's John Klingberg. Klingberg sat out the previous game with an illness, undetermined if he will lace up this Thursday when Anaheim faces the Avalanche. Going to Arizona, we have Lawson Cruz or Kraus, depending on how you pronounce it. He missed the last 4 games with an upper body injury. He may or may not be available for Thursday's game against the Blues. Also, Liam O'Brien is updated. He's idle with an upper body injury, not expected to return at least until the beginning of February. So still a couple weeks out for him as a center for Arizona. For Boston, we have Thomas Nosek. He had a non-displaced left foot fracture. How very specific. Thank you, CBC.
Okay.
Appreciate
That
it.
hurts.
Yeah.
I
I've
actually
broken
know
my
what all
foot.
of those
It
words
hurts.
mean
Yeah.
if you don't fucking Google it.
Google
But
It's free.
it's free. Google's free, y'all.
Yep.
But he, has a non-displaced left foot fracture, predicted to miss at least 4 weeks, which puts him closer to the end of February. For Buffalo right now, no new or updated ones. It's still just Ben Bishop, who is now out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Due to that degenerative right knee injury. For Calgary, Brent Ritchie is the update. He was on IR with a wrist injury, set to remain idle most likely until the beginning of February, so another few weeks for him as well. For Carolina, we have Andre Casse, who has been on the IR list for a while with a concussion, but he is now updated to potentially return as early as the beginning of February. Max Pacioretty is updated on the IR for tearing his right Achilles tendon and is still expected to miss the remainder of the season. This says that's updated. I don't understand why, but we'll go with it.
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know why? Because it happened right after Pacioretty came back from injury.
Oh, so
It
he came
happened
back and immediately got hurt
literally
again.
right away, and then he
no,
tore his
that's
Achilles.
The worst.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned
That's the
it.
worst.
I think I'd mentioned it in one of our notes channel.
I'm sure you
But
did.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't fully remember.
Oh.
But yeah, literally right as he
Okay.
came back, Pacioretty
Oh,
tore his
that's the
fucking
worst.
Achilles.
Like, I
Yeah,
didn't even
that
remember him
sucks.
coming off IR.
Yeah, well, he was off for
Um,
like a game.
Yeah. Okay. And then Jacob Slavin. I don't know why I said it like that. Jakob Slavin.
I don't
Missed
either.
previous game with a lower body injury, leaving his status for Wednesday's game against the Stars doubtful. I blame the cold medicine.
I do too.
100%, especially with as late as it's getting. For Chicago, we still have Tyler Johnson, who is out. He has been designated to the IR list with an ankle ailment. Not expected to return until the beginning of February, so another couple weeks for him. Alex Stalock still going through that concussion protocol, no timetable. So he's listed as out indefinitely, which may be the best decision for him, 100%.
Yeah.
Going down to Colorado, we have Darren Helm, who is out with a lower body injury. Team officials have yet to decide when he'll come back. He is listed as questionable for Thursday's game. Kale Makar or Marker, I think it's Makar. Yeah. Was absent for the previous 4 games due to upper body injury. Remains to be seen if he will be active for Thursday's game against the Ducks. And then Dennis Malgin, I don't know if we touched on him last week because this was updated at the time we recorded last week. So he is placed on IR with an upper body injury, not likely to return until the later part of February. And then Josh Manson is also on IR with a lower body injury, also not likely to come back until at least middle of February. Going down to Columbus, no updates there, which is awesome.
Good.
They still have a number of players out. They have 6 players injured right now. Dallas has no new injuries, which is also awesome, but also fuck you, Dallas.
No injuries at all, which is crazy.
For Detroit, we have Tyler Bertuzzi, who's questionable for Thursday's game against the Canadiens. He missed the last 2 games with a lower body injury. And Philip Zadina hit IR with a lower body injury also. He is likely to miss at least 8 weeks, which puts him roughly beginning of February.
Nice.
Moving down to Edmonton, we have Matthias Janmark, is how I'm assuming that's saying we're Scandinavian here.
Matthias Janmark, I believe.
Okay.
Close. Yeah, you're about right.
He is absent from the previous 2 games due to an illness. It's a syphilis bus. If you know, you know. Okay, so Matthias Janmark is probable for Wednesday's game. He has been absent for the last 2 games due to an illness. It's expected that he may or may not be available for Wednesday's game against the Blue Jackets, Edmonton. Also, Evander Kane is back on our list. He is tending to a personal matter, most likely not gonna play Wednesday. Does anybody know any more details on that?
I haven't seen anything on it,
Is it
but I
divorce
also
stuff?
don't follow him.
Yeah, I don't either. It wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Probably.
it wouldn't surprise me if it's a divorce stuff or something. But
Yeah.
and they very well may have not said anything at all.
It is for his bankruptcy case.
He's filing bankruptcy too.
Yeah. He owes like $4
Awesome.
million or something.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Next, we have Ryan Murray on Edmonton as well. He was shuttled to the IR, as you all know that is my favorite terminology here. But he was shuttled with a back injury, which don't fuck around with back injuries, y'all.
No.
Expected to miss at least 1 month, so maybe early February, which, y'all, that's not a month. Anyway, lastly, it's Kyler Yamamoto. I can't read. I'm 36. My name is Danger, and I never fucking learned how to read. But he wound up on the long-term IR list with an unknown injury. Will miss an extended period of time out indefinitely for the Florida Panthers, who the Wild fucked up last weekend. Sam Bennett sat out the last contest with an undefined issue, which, yeah, bitch, that was from our game. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, bitch.
Sam Bennett sat... We did. We sent like
Danger.
3 or 4 of their players into the back. It was amazing. So for the Florida Panthers, we have Sam Bennett, who sat out the last contest with an undefined issue. It's unclear if he will dress for Friday's game against the Kings. Sergei Bobrovsky missed the last previous 3 games due to lower body injury. Undetermined also if he will play Friday against the Kings.
Honestly, a shame for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Bob is a great goalie.
Yeah, but in reality, they're not losing out too much because they do have Spencer Knight, who is a great young goaltender. So
Spencer Knight, I will say, so we played the Panthers on the 21st, and I was thoroughly impressed with Spencer
yeah, he's
Knight.
a really good young goaltender.
Yeah, he did really, really well. And on, granted, we didn't play our best that game by any means, but he really did impress me. I said multiple times, I'm like, yo, this kid's, gonna have a good career. But fuck you at the same time. I have to keep my comedic personality of hating every team but the Wild, right? Lastly,
except mine.
Right, I do like the Caps. And I do like there are other teams in the league that I don't mind, but when you face the Wild, go fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
That's how I feel about it, when you play us, go fuck yourself if you're better than us. Don't talk about it. It's fine. It didn't fucking happen in my mind. No, I'm just kidding. But lastly, for Florida Panthers, we have Eric Stahl, who we talked about a little bit earlier, but he was designated to the IR with an upper body injury. Unknown as of now when he will come back. For Los Angeles, we have Carl Grundstrom. He was added to the IR with an undetermined injury, most likely not to return until the middle of February. And then Gabriel Velarde is the only other update or new one, and that's Velarde is sidelined with an upper body injury. Most likely will also remain out of action until the beginning of February. Minnesota Wild have no new injuries reported, which is awesome. We lost Foligno for 1 or 2 games, and then we scratched Dumba for a little bit, which was fine. So, Montreal. Y'all okay up there? Do you need some help?
Apparently not.
Supplies? Love?
Anything.
Coffee? Warmth? I don't know. You need anything?
Need a
we
hug?
got you. A hug? I'm not far from Montreal, okay? Well, I am, but arguably out of the 3 of us, I'm the closest. So let me know what you need. I'm not allowed in Canada for reasons I won't discuss on this podcast.
That's privates between me and the Canadians.
They really are fucked though. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's
You really are.
pretty bad.
So we
They're like,
have,
fuck.
y'all bear with me for this long list of names.
Excuse me.
We have Jake Allen, goalie, who is idle with an upper body injury, out of action until the early part of February. Joel Armenia, right winger, is on the IR with an upper body issue, not expected to return before the All-Star break at the soonest. I can read.
We believe you.
Cole Caulfield,
Do.
sidelined with a right shoulder injury. Forecasted, unfortunately, to miss the rest of the season, which we honestly all here hate to see, regardless of who you are or what team you're on. We don't like to see those long-term injuries come out. Jonathan Drouin, designated to IR with an upper body injury, not expected to return until at least the middle of February at the absolute earliest. Jake Evans hit the IR with a lower body injury, will remain sidelined for at least 8 to 10 weeks, so he's expected back mid-March. Going down to Emil Heineman, also sidelined with that upper body injury that he's had for a while, but this is just updated. They're expecting him to remain idle until the early part of February. Sean Monahan is also updated. They moved him to long-term IR with a lower body injury. May be back as soon as the beginning part of February. And then the one that hurts is, how do you say his name? Yuri
Slavkovsky.
Yuri?
Yuri Slavkovsky.
Yuri Slavkovsky.
Good enough.
Close as I'm gonna get it. He was moved to IR with a lower body injury. But he's not expected to return for at least 3 months, y'all. So, and that's as of today. So he's not expected back until mid-April.
I'd be shocked if he comes back at all this season.
Yeah.
And that one hurts.
Yeah, because he's number 1 overall draft pick this year.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Yeah, like that hurts hard for Montreal.
Yeah.
For Nashville, no new or updated info. For New Jersey, we have John Marino, or Morano, depending on how you say it. Or Marinino. I don't know. Anyway.
Maraschino cherries over here.
Yes! Can I wait?
Nice. Yummy.
But these are soaked in vodka, so I'm not gonna have any.
Yummy
right now.
are.
But he is on IR with an upper body injury. May or may not be activated again before Thursday's game, where New Jersey faces the Preds. For the Islanders, we have Cal Clutterbuck, which love Cal. But he is on IR with that upper body injury. He right now is listed as out indefinitely. We don't know when he will be back. For Noah Dobson, he was held out of the last game with an unknown issue. May or may not suit up Wednesday, so tomorrow as of time of recording, against the Senators. Hudson Fashing. What a great name. He is on IR with a lower body injury. He is also listed as out indefinitely as of right now. They don't know when he will be back. For the Rangers, we have Libor Hajek.
Yeah, Hajek, I think.
Hajek. Libor Hajek. Is idle with that stomach bug. We've talked about this for 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. It really does seem like the league has this bug that's floating around the players. Which makes sense. They're in such close. They are. Just like John Cena did under the ring. But, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely has been a long time that we've seen this stomach bug go around the league. For sure. For Ottawa, we have 4 new updated ones. We have Tyler Mott, who was on IR due to that broken finger, expected to return in beginning of February, which I think is the update there. We have Josh Norris, who will miss the rest of the season after having shoulder surgery. So next we have Nikita Zaitsev, ended up on IR with a lower body ailment. Likely that he will be back tomorrow again as of time of recording when they play the Islanders. And then we have Artem Zub, who is on IR with that lower body injury. It's listed as out indefinitely as of right now, I think. Is more of an update. For Philly, we have no new or updated ones. They still have 4 people out on IR right now. For Pittsburgh, we have Josh Archibald. I know that's not how you say his name, but that's what he's going to get because fuck the Penguins. He is on the long-term IR list with a lower body injury. Not expected to return until at least the beginning of February. Tristan Jarry, who fucking figure out if you're going to play or not. You're on my fantasy team. I need you to figure your shit out.
Figure it out.
He
Good goalie,
sat
Phil.
out the last game with an undefined issue. Unclear if he will suit up against the Canucks on Thursday. For your sake,
We're gonna kick you
we'll
away.
say no.
Don't
then
do
we
it,
have-
Tristan. Stay out.
Tristan
They-
stay out at that point. Kasperi Kapanen?
Yeah.
Great
Kasperi
name
Kapanen.
also.
Yeah,
Also great
Kasperi
name.
Kapanen, great name.
Kasperi,
Yeah.
okay. Kasperi. He is on the IR with a lower body injury. Uncertain how long he will remain out. And then we have Jan Rutta, designated for long-term IR list with an upper body ailment, will remain idle until at least the middle of February. For San Jose, we have no new ones. They still have 3 people out, though. For Seattle, we have Andre Bubrovsky. I said that wrong, but
Your
get over it.
nephew.
I'm sick. Your
Bur-
nephew?
That's
Burakovsky.
how Caps fans refer to Burakovsky as our nephew.
Bubrovsky. Okay.
Don't ask.
I love it.
I can't.
Whatever. I'm here
He's our
for it. I
nephew.
support it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Tio. I'm your Tio now.
Yeah.
He missed the previous game with an undetermined ailment. Unknown also if he will play Wednesday when Seattle faces
I hope
the
that you
Canucks,
do, just so you can kick their fucking ass for treating
Canucks.
Brucey so badly.
right? We're here for it. We support Seattle.
We stand that kind
Usually, regardless,
We do.
unless they're playing one of our 3 teams, we stand for
Right.
Seattle. But
100%.
especially being that you face the Canucks this year or
Yeah.
this week,
This
we all
week.
face them this year. We have Chris Drygish. I'm sorry.
Oh,
We're
we've
losing it,
lost her.
folks.
We've lost her.
We've lost the thread.
Chris
got it.
Dryger
Hmm.
was moved to IR after having ACL surgery, but they are hoping that he will be back early February, and I think that's the big update on him. Yanni Gord is
Great name.
nursing. Oh, this is a new vernacular. Is nursing an unspecified issue. He took too much Viagra. And remains to be seen if he will.
If it lasts longer than 4 hours, absolutely call a doctor.
Or keep going. Either way.
Too.
Not advised.
Yanni, it's up to you.
Not
It's up
advised.
to you.
Yeah, Yanni, your choice.
Justin Schultz is out of action with an unknown injury.
Oh.
They have yet to provide
I
the
like him.
exact return date. So as of right now, he as well is listed out indefinitely. And Jaden Schwartz, also with an unspecified injury. Also unknown.
I gotta
when
get
he
more
will return.
specific.
And I do notice there are certain teams that are very vague and certain teams that are like, meh, I don't care what you know, know. So that's kind of an interesting, that could be a deep dive that we could do someday is debunking why we think certain teams give more info than others. For St. Louis, we have Pavel Buchnevich was shifted to IR after undergoing a minor surgical procedure to address an ankle infection. Remains sidelined for at least the middle of December. So hopefully he can get rid of that infection quickly. Honestly, you don't want to see any of that attack anybody's joints.
No.
Or
No,
Tampa Bay, fuck the Lightning. Still very heated by the game tonight, y'all. You know. Rudolph Falsier, he is on IR, upper body injury, most likely to not come back until the beginning of February. And I think that was the update there.
Yeah.
For Toronto, we have TJ Brody, who has been shifted to the IR list with a rib injury. Remains to be seen if he'll return before the beginning of February. So it looks like they're just waiting for that to heal. We have Victor Met was added to the long-term IR with a lower body injury. May be back as soon as the beginning of February. And that's the other newest one. We will just touch on this because I don't know if this happened before or after we were recorded, but Nicholas Robertson is now out for the rest of the season and was added to the long-term injured reserve list with a shoulder injury. For Vancouver,
Fuck the Canucks.
Fuck
Fuck them
man.
right now in this very moment, but not forever. Just temporarily.
But
fuck
not
them.
in the fun way either.
Not
No,
the
not in a good way.
Fun way. Fuck you, but
Right.
not in the good way.
Fuck
Yeah.
you, not in the fun way.
Fuck you, but make it hurt a little.
And not in the fun way.
You get hurt a little.
What? They have Ethan Bear out. He missed the last 2 games due to a personal issue. May or may not be able to play Wednesday against the Kraken.
Hope everything's okay for him. I think he's a great player.
Yeah, he really is. He's impressive. I enjoy watching Ethan play.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thatcher Demko, who, again, I know we say this like
Yeah.
every week, but he's such a fucking great name.
Oh, yeah.
He was moved to the IR with a lower body injury, most likely remaining idle until the beginning of February. And then we just have Tucker and I almost said Tucker and Taniel because I was reading Tanner Pool.
Listen here, Taniel.
Taniel. That's now your
Taniel.
collective name. Is Taniel.
You listen when I'm talking to you, Taniel.
God, someday, sooner than I'm prepared for, somebody is going to name their child Taniel, and I'm
it's 100% already happened.
not going to be okay.
Yeah, 100% already happened.
For Vegas, we have William Carrier or Carrier. It depends on where you're from, which is
if you're French or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Is on the IR with upper body injury, unknown when he will be able to come back. The other updates here, we have Mark Stone sidelined with an upper body injury as well, most likely not to return until the middle of February. Shea Theodore was on IR due to a leg injury, may be back the early part of February though, which is a good update for him. And Zach Whitecloud was on long-term IR with a lower body injury, out of commission till at least the beginning of February. Which is crazy that that's only a couple of weeks away.
Right.
For Washington, oh no! Nicholas Backstrom missed the last game with an illness. Uncertain if he'll be able to partake Thursday's game against the Penguins. I fucking hope so, Nicholas.
Could have used
Don't come back sooner than you need to, but yeah.
But if it's just the shits, you'll be fine. Put a diaper on. God. Just kidding.
Shit under the ice. It's fine.
Shit under the ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible.
You didn't know that? So you just gotta shovel himself.
You can get under there.
Like
easy.
Camping, you gotta shovel a hole
easy breezy.
Shit in it and cover it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna see it in the ice though.
No, you just wait for Matt Murray to knock the net off of the peg.
Yes,
and you take a
and then
dump
you
in
shit
there.
the goal,
and then you put the goal back in it.
Goal back, and then the goal stays until he does it again.
It acts like cement. It binds it.
That is
checks out.
So many things are wrong with that.
Can conform. So we have Nicholas Backstrom out. Hopefully he'll be able to play. We then have Nick Dowd, who we talked about last week on IR with that lower body injury.
Yeah.
Right now listed as out indefinitely. It doesn't look like they know for sure when he will be back. And lastly, TJ Oshie, who has the sheer audacity to miss a hockey game because he might be having a baby. The sheer fucking audacity of this man.
They're for sure having a baby. He's having his 4th child, his 3rd girl, which is super cute.
That is adorable.
He's a girl dad.
Such a girl dad. He is such a girl dad. No, in all honesty, congratulations to TJ and his wife and their family. Take as much time as you want. This is listed out indefinitely, no timetable for his return.
He'll be back for when we play the Penguins.
Oh, I'm sure.
Thursday.
I'm sure he will, but I love the fact that he maybe just said, I don't know when I'll be back. Because honestly, at least then that shows, I don't know what happens in, birth. If things were to go to shit, which I hope they
Right.
don't, but at least he's not like contractually like, oh, I'll be there Thursday. No, I
Yeah.
might be, I might not be. I don't know. Like it depends
Yeah.
on how things go. But no, congratulations to you. All jokes aside. But I
We
had to
do
like,
have
play that up a little bit.
we
'Cause
do
how
have
dare
another
you?
last minute addition,
Another
unfortunately,
one?
for me.
No!
Tom Wilson
'Cause-
got injured in tonight's game. He was blocking a shot, and
Well,
got hit in
and you
his
said
left
that
knee and left
earlier,
the
but
ice.
he's not on my list.
He left the
Which
ice tonight and did not come back.
he didn't come back. Is your game over now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's confirmed he's out indefinitely, it's confirmed he's out for the rest of the game, according to Cap's PR, was the
Okay.
last that I saw.
Okay.
Because of course I follow this religiously. But yeah, he
Right.
is not returning to tonight's game, or did not
Right.
return at all to tonight's game.
Which
So,
is also awful.
he is, yeah. Which sucks because
Right.
we can't take another one, guys.
Right.
can't
And
take
to have
another one.
and if it comes down to having TJ and Tom out and Nick, honestly.
TJ,
the
Tom,
three
and
of them
Nick.
out again.
Dude.
Well, and the other Nick too, because he is
Ugh.
one of our face-off guys. Like he is one.
Nicked
It was
out.
like 64% of our face-offs, which is like one
Oh,
of the
wow.
highest numbers on our team.
That's
Right.
Like he's fucking killing it, which is what I meant when I said the other week when he's like not. It's not his points because you don't get points for face-offs, but like he's been contributing in that regard.
No,
lately for
winning
us.
face-offs means winning
So-
possessions means opportunities of scoring. So yeah, that's
So having our
Right.
number one face-off guy out.
Right.
Having Nick Backstrom out, having TJ Oshie out, having
No bueno.
Tom
yeah.
Wilson out, having Ovi just getting back from injury. Like we're fucking
Right.
hobbling along.
Plus
now.
And that was
Carlson.
the other thing we were going to talk about was or I just wanted to bring up
plus
because I happened to see this, but like Ovi was out the last game for like the 27th time in his career due to injury or something, which is just, like
Yeah.
he is such a beast.
It was his
love to hate
28th game
Ovechkin.
missed.
Yeah, love to hate him, but
That's still fucking insane.
it's insane.
28
Like,
games
what a beast.
missed, 48 games in total. So 20 games were missed because
Yeah.
he was either suspended for not attending the All-Star event or for an actual like suspension, or he was benched one game because he overslept. I think that was the team punishment. He missed a practice.
All right.
So
I think all that's left to round this out is our obscure NHL player of the week. This week we wanted to show some love to somebody we mentioned frequently. I wouldn't exactly say he's obscure, but he is great. We want to give some love to Biz Nasty himself, Mr. Paul Bissonnette.
I go Paul.
Shout out
Biz
Paul.
Nasty, man.
I
Shout
know.
out Paul.
Dude, Biz is like the greatest
Who
nickname.
calls him that?
Probably
Yeah,
his
I don't
mother.
think I've ever heard anyone refer to him as Paul. Honestly,
Yeah, no, it's
I've
Biz.
only ever
It's
heard
always
him referred to
Biz.
as Biz.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to look up his first name because I forgot it.
Biz's playing career lasted from 2008 to 2017. He played 202 games in the NHL, 7 goals, 15
Nice.
assists, but he had 340 penalty minutes.
Get it, son.
Damn, dude.
He had about the
Dude.
same amount of time in the AHL, 270 games, 16 goals, 27 assists, 653 penalty minutes, and he managed to win a championship in 2015. I wanted to look it up just because I know my boy was a gritty defenseman.
He's a fighter, not a lover.
Career fights were 69.
Hey,
Get it.
He
Biz
played
nasty.
business. He did play for the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Arizona Coyotes. And he is now
Coyotes.
yeah, right. He is now a studio analyst for NHL and TNT, which he definitely livens that up. Last week he got LA Kings player Drew Doughty to say Bukkake on live TV, and it was fucking
He
great.
did not.
He 100% got him to say Bukkake.
Great clip if you have time. Go watch
it's
it.
Oh
so
my
great.
god, I need to find it. Okay.
And he also
awesome.
co-hosts alongside another defenseman that we all love. Co-host Spittin' Chicklets with Ryan Whitney.
Love Ryan.
So
Yes, he does.
Love Ryan Whitney.
yeah, which if you guys don't listen to that, also great content.
I
It
did remember
is.
his first name
Ryan
for what
Whitney.
it's worth.
Yeah. But yeah, want to show some love to Biz. Biz, if by some chance you're watching this, my guy, we'd love to have you on. That would be a blast.
Hey, absolutely.
We'd love to have a
Come
Spittin'
join us.
Chicklets pucked up crossover. Could you fucking imagine?
Oh my god. Can you
So much fun.
Yeah.
The only thing that would like make me
We would be
happier
so
would be
drunk.
the
my
Wild
God.
on 7th.
Because I would
podcast
buy
with Ryan
multiple
Carter,
bottles of
but
fucking Pink Whitney. I'd drink that
Oh,
bitch, and we would
absolutely.
get shamasted.
We would have to do
Yeah.
like Truth or Drink or something with Pink Whitney or
with
something.
the squad. But yes.
Yeah, with the squad. Fucking love Spitting Chicklets. One of the best podcasts
yeah.
out there.
Oh yeah.
Like we're not affiliated or sponsored, whatever, by them whatsoever. Just honestly,
We're just
check 'em
fans.
out.
We're
They're
just fans of
awesome.
hockey
Yeah.
and
They're
fans of a good
awesome, like,
podcast.
Great hockey content across
yeah.
the board.
Absolutely.
Fucking legendary. So
Legendary.
yes, is Paul Bissonnette is our obscure NHL player of the week.
Wow, what a show, guys. That was
I
fun.
know.
Right?
I think on that bombshell, it is time to end. Thank you guys so much for
Crazy episode.
being here with us for another episode. It was a bit all over the place, but that's usually what our content is at this
Yeah.
point.
A little bit. That's what you get. 3 people with ADD and ADHD together in a room
And one of us that's
virtually, and this is
just
what happens.
really tired.
Well, one of us that's the only one that's even like close to being sober.
Oh yeah, all I've literally had
Or-
was like a CBD seltzer. That's
Right.
literally I'm
Yeah.
drinking water. Like
Well, it's
And
like
I drank a pitcher of gin and prosecco.
you drank the
so-
whole pitcher? What a
Yeah.
legend. What a legend. That is and then
That's
then
fun.
Danger's feeling some sort of way on cough medicine right now because she's not, or cold medicine because she is not feeling well.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, we're all feeling something. But
Yeah.
thank you guys for coming to be here. If you like our content and you want to check us out everywhere else, we're on other platforms. We do a lot of other content. All of our
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
hell yeah.
all of our links will be in the description. Also check out the
Mhm.
merch store. The merch store is dope. There's a bunch of cool shit up there.
And
some
new stuff is coming all the time.
Oh, absolutely. We
Yeah.
always come up with stupid
time.
ideas, and then
Me
Dave just
too.
goes, fuck, put it on a t-shirt.
Let us know if you
Like-
want a syphilis bust t-shirt. We'd be happy to give those to you.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was the one, like, literally during the Double D estrogen powder Dave made up? Oh, murder is, or what's murder among friends?
Let's murder
Yeah.
among friends.
What's a little
That-
murder between friends?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
So
So
that's
definitely come and check us out.
indeed. Also, if you guys like this stuff, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening to us on podcast platforms, make sure you guys give us a rating and give us a review.
Yeah.
We love that. That helps us out. Because we love to hear from you guys. We love to get your feedback. We love to know what you like about us and what you don't. And if it's something you don't, we're probably just going to ignore you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, all jokes aside, you guys, thank you again, and we will see you motherfuckers next time in the Face Off Circle.